we got the Season 2 Reloaded patch notes for multiplayer zombies in Warzone. I'll have timestamps so you can just kind of skip through. First off, global changes. Upon aiming down sight, crosshairs will now transition directly to the center of the screen rather than easing into position. This change continues our improvements to the precision and responsiveness of aiming in Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone. Please continue to share your feedback. So they're just continuing enhancing that aiming. So hopefully they improve on that. Customization resolved an issue causing the blueprints from the spare ribs bundle to be less transparent than intended. Intended colors of the incision blueprint for the Renetti. Music from the Hans Zimmer MWIII pack will once again play during matches. Resolved an issue in the gunsmith, which camos were not previewing properly on several weapons, and then improved coverage of the dissolver camo on certain weapons. So pretty straightforward. We're also going to get some new events. We got some aftermarket parts, new weapons. We got the new battle rifle and the melee weapon. And that's some of the general stuff. Then when we get into multiplayer, they added the ability to filter attachments by subcategories in the gunsmith. So optics, hybrid, 4X, thermal. So it just kind of gives you the breakdown of what you can choose there. Muzzles, you can get breachers, flash hiders, suppressors, comps, and brakes. And then underbarrels, you either get hand stops, undermounted weapons, bipods, so they just kind of get you added detail to utilize. Considering there's like 70 attachments in some of these categories, it can be a little bit tedious to search through, and you kind of can miss stuff pretty easily. I added the ability to track up to 5 challenges to the preview outside of the challenge menu. Tracked challenges will appear on the in-game pause menu and lobby. Added a mark all red button. Bug fixes. So we added favorites button will no longer appear for locked emblems. Calling cards unlockable only in the MWIII will now state this information in the customization menu. In free-for-all modes, the local player will no longer appear as the enemy in the kill feed. In gunfight, placeholder images will no longer briefly appear in the kill cam. Players can now quick equip content from the view new content menu. In snipers only mode, restriction icons are now present for weapons that aren't sniper rifles, allowing players to better discern which weapons are restricted. Fixed a bug that prevented weapon leveling from displaying in the gunsmith. Several inaccuracies with weapon attachment descriptions have been resolved. Yep. Progression. Fixed several Season 2 weekly challenges that were not tracking. Nice. Weapons in semi-auto fire will now properly progress associated challenges. Maps. So we get Scrapyard, Shipment, Vista, Dome, added to the pool of available maps in quick play. And then modes. Gun game. Cool. Headquarters, training course, private match, cruise missile outside of the combat area will no longer halt your progression. All right, so the weapons and attachments, they made quite a bit of changes. I don't know if any will directly impact the meta. Multiple different like specific small things, whether it's aim down sight, like damage to some things. BASP gets a minor nerf by 1 point at pretty much most of its value ranges. Sidewinder gets a little bit of a recoil improvement. And you can kind of just go through. There are a bunch of things, but for the vast majority of things aren't things that people use, aren't necessarily meta, won't make things meta. Maybe the Lockman sub gets a little bit better because his range gets boosted up to about 15 meters, which is a 71% increase, huge for multiplayer. We'll see if that actually makes its way into Warzone. The Lockwood, they made it a little bit more unforgiving, making it 6 shots instead of 8-shot pellet count when you fire. Pullum Yacht gets a huge bullet velocity nerf, but in multiplayer the ranges aren't as far. Bruin gets a buff kind of all the way around. They kind of touch on a little bit of other things. They fix some other things that maybe weren't working properly. Pretty straightforward stuff. I don't know if any of those will have huge impacts. Ranks, they add some more restrictions. Soul Ender, the vest, and Rhino modular rig vest. And then bugs. Addressed an issue that prevented players from earning SR after completing a match. Addressed an issue that prevented the top 250 camo from animating when previewing the rewarding game. The zombies. Zombies is kind of a bigger chunk. We get the story mission, which should be interesting. Dark Ether Rift. It's going to change slightly after completing the new story mission. A fresh Dark Ether Rift experience awaits. Keep your eyes open, follow the cryptic clues, and complete time tasks to unlock access to the Rift Gate. Once inside, complete challenges and survive to earn the coveted rewards like the Bloodburner Key and more. Dark Ether Rifts are unlocked by solving hidden quests, which activates after completing the new Season 2 Reloaded. So it's going to be a lot like what we saw last season when we got the Rift and you had to do kind of like the hidden Easter egg stuff to solve the little alters that there was. So you get the new acquisitions, Mags of Holding, which basically just makes it so you don't have to reload. It just keeps drawing your ammo from your reserve. Bloodburner Key, get you the motorcycle on command, and then the Vril will have a schematic for that, which should be interesting if like you need to defend a vehicle. It's pretty effective at that. Containment level. Season 2 Reloaded introduces containment levels, a new tiered exfil streak system, which is immediately available to all players. Complete contract and successfully exfil. Oh, this is an exfil streak. Nice. Rewards includes containment level tier increases. So start with 500 essence, 5 armor plates, 1,000 essence, 30% discount on perk Acola machine cost. Start with 1,500 essence, 30% bonus on contract essence rewards. Start with 2,500 essence, 50% discount on mystery box cost. Start with 5,000 essence. And if you get level 100 tier 10, it says 20% discount and pack-a-punch cost. Players who are unable to successfully exfil will knock back a single tier. So pretty much you'll just continue to progress. This should help a ton with just getting started. And I think it solves that issue of everyone that was tombstoning like a month or so ago. New Warlord, and that's gonna be an Orlov military base. That should be interesting. Those haven't been particularly good. In my opinion, I think warlords or human-based are probably the worst part of the zombies experience. I think most people, when they play zombies, they just want to play zombies. That's just a thought, but it is what it is. A contract possess multiple instances of contract spawning in the warlord strongholds. Yep, that could be annoying. Zombies, Ether Worm will no longer follow players to the final exfil chopper. Ooh, that's kind of crazy. Address multiple instances where zombies would be unable to target or follow a player. Terminus outcomes, Warlord, defeating a Warlord now grants a guaranteed wonder weapon case. Cool. And then the new one arrives and we'll have a week-long spotlight at the start of the season, and then it'll probably just alternate. Hellhounds, players can no longer activate a dog bone while in water. Hellhounds, okay, cool. Weapons, season 2 weapons. New weapons included in season 2 have been added to the loot pool. You can find them in their mystery boxes. Ram 9 decreased the critical hit damage of the Pack-a-Punch. Ram 9 now fires an extra bullet when Pack-a-Punch, which allows it to outperform with the previous tuning. Oh, damn, the Ram 9 was already good before. That could be kind of crazy, but you'll probably burn through ammo kind of quickly, and that's where that other schematic thing could be useful. Basilisk, just an issue that prevented players from infilling with the Opus and Triggerfinger Basilisk blueprints. Kill streaks. Close an exploit that allowed players to become invulnerable while using the jug. Okay, address an issue that Contract UI disappeared the players left the squad while Contract was active, and then added some various stability fixes. So nothing crazy, but finally something for zombies. It's been kind of dead for a bit. Now Warzone. So events, we get the 3 events. Those actually apply to everything. But for Warzone, we get Fortune's Keep. We get the research vessel, which we've already kind of talked about with the previous blog. So that's kind of a little thing that's going to have different items. You can buy at the buy station, UAV tower. It's going to stop after, I believe, the first zone or so. So we'll just kind of see how big of an impact that is. It could be kind of a dynamic hot drop at the start of matches. Vondel, Battle Royale, new mode. Vondel now offers the beloved Battle Royale experience, which is unique. And maybe they added the Champions Quest. Royale will now debut with its own version of Champions Quest. Nice. While the quest remains similar in nature, the version will come with its own unique elements. Applies constant snapshot effect on the HUD on the nearby players. Pose fatigue on nearby players, hindering core movement. Periodically electrocute. Okay, those were there. Victories on both maps will count toward Champions Quest progress. What? Successfully completing the mission will award players with the same item on both maps. That's crazy, because that might even be easier than it is on big map. There's the playlist. Ooh, it look kind of nice. If you're interested in a particular playlist, you can kind of see what's there. We got the new weapons, which we've already kind of talked a little bit about in general. We already knew what to expect with those general adjustments. Okay, so weapon adjustments. Okay, so MCW gets a mid damage buff. In a couple different ways. It doesn't get the minimum damage, so it's not going to have a huge impact. It'll just be a little bit better. Holger gets a bit of a damage increase, which is good. It was already kind of good before. I wouldn't say it was meta by any means, because we only have a couple good weapons at the top there. But right outside of that, it was in the mix. So I wonder if that's enough to make it viable for competitive against those top weapons like the Ram 7 and the MTZ 762. BP also looks like it gets a little bit of a nerf, including some of the nerfs we saw in multiplayer. SVA gets a little bit of a change, not a huge differences here. Ram 7 gets a little bit of nerf from its range by about 8 meters. That's kind of crazy. 7 meters. MTZ gets nerfed as well. Max damage and min damage, so it's closest and furthest. They modified that. They decreased the damage value multipliers. Okay, that's not good. This might kick it out, but we'll see. 30 bullets don't go that far. Even if you have the bugged version where you can get the 40 round mag, it's still probably not going to go as far. This kind of makes the Ram 7, I think, edge it out as the top meta weapon, but we'll see. Sidewinder decreased the recoil, okay, and didn't change the values there. AMR gets fixed on the kit. Ram 9, some minor adjustments. WSP 9, okay, no damage value. Ram, PDSW, all right. Shotguns, the pellet thing changes like multi. So the Bruin, a slight buff, okay, nothing crazy. Pulling Yacht gets the same change. Decreases bullet velocity. Sniper rifles, all right, they kind of speed this one up, speed it up, and slow it down for the SPX. Renetti gets a damage buff with the specific carbine, so that's the full auto kit. It gets a damage buff. The core gets a bullet velocity buff. The tier, mid-range, it gets extended. All right, cool. Wonder weapons. Okay, that's specifically for there. Splash damage increase. So they made them stronger? Okay. Underbarrel launchers, Jacqueline. Okay, general. Boosted ascender distance by 16 feet. Okay, it's kind of weird because they use meters in game, but feet in the patch note. I don't know. Boosted parachute distance 100 feet. Overall volume of reviving teammates has been slightly increased. It needs to be increased a lot. A new unique sound has been added for reviving a player so that it is significantly more noticeable to nearby players. Nice. Reviving a teammate using the medic vest now has a unique audio cue the player within the small radius can hear. Oh, that's cool. Final elimination cam. Kill cams been added to showcase the final elimination of each match across most modes and Resurgence combat records. Stat tracking has been enabled. Nice, finally. All maps, all modes featured. So we get the PDS. Cool, that's returning. Fortunes Keep Resurgence. We get the Bunker Buster specifically on that map. So we'll be able to hit through 3 floors and then it leaves a gas behind for 25 seconds. Adjusted features. So pre-match lobby loadouts, quality of life. Player can now instantly swap loadouts in the pre-match lobby rather than having to respawn for the new selection. That's nice. Looting improvements, significant improvements have been made to the top and bottom shelf auto looting system. Players can now expect a more consistent, predictable auto pickup range for loot in both above and below the player's current height and level. Audio improvements. The overall volume of reviving a teammate has been slightly increased. A new unique sound has been added for reviving. All right, cool. Reviving, okay, we saw that. That's already like duplicated. Backpack auto refill. So field upgrades will now auto equip if identical items are found in the backpack. If not, the next closest non-identical item will auto equip. W. Redeploy pack flare, quality of life. Flare will now appear when player respawn via a redeploy pack. Minimap vehicles. Increase the distance at which enemy vehicles will appear on the minimap by 10 meters. W. This is one they destroyed in MWIII where like they'd still be on your map, but like the outer boundary of the minimap would just be like they would disappear. All maps, Resurgence, most wanted time. Reduce most wanted contract time in Resurgence modes to 3 minutes instead of 4. That's kind of crazy. Fortunes Keep Resurgence, loot adjustment, kill streak spawns have been reduced by about 30%. Maximum of 1 kill streak spawn in a base and legendary cache. And then we have supply boxes will now spawn more armor plates. Thankfully. Urzakstan plunder cache deposit improvements. Cool. Take priority of any loot. Overlapping. Okay. Throwing knives. Reduce damage to 175 down from 200. Throwing knife will one shot when it impacts the head or if used on a down player. Thank you. I know people are going to be upset by this one and people are going to love it. You're split. You either abuse these and this is how you get some free kills, or you get killed by it and you just find it annoying and you refuse to use it because it's kind of cheesy. So thankfully it'll be good for throwing downed players. Frag grenade gets a mid reduction for damage, quite a bit there. Battle Rage removed a reference of Battle Rage description about quickly regenerating health, and then tactical equipment stuns resolved an issue causing movement reduction effects. EMD. All right, cool. Perks, quick fix, minor update to description and sub description. I think this one had to do with it saying you can play with one hand. They probably removed that. Warzone ranked, optics, all thermal, and then been restricted. Earning SR has changed slightly for top 3. They actually gave you less points, I think. They want to make it a little bit harder because I thought you got 80 for this one. 80, then it was like 60, 50, and then something like that. I don't remember exactly. Proximity chat's been disabled. And then Gfuel player card, cool. Deployable buy station, icon quality of life, and then bug fixes collection. Quite a bit of bug fixes. And there it goes. So quite a bit in the update, mostly like stuff that just impacts the gameplay, makes it better. We'll kind of see how that goes. No update on cheating, which I think a lot of people have issues with. Obviously, it's not something new, including shadow bans, but we'll see how it goes. Appreciate all the support. See you in the next one. Thank you for watching as always. Have a great day.